Hi all, welcome back to another mini episode with Mystic Scales and
And
Fae
Fairy
Tales
Tales
podcast.
Podcast.
I'm
Hi,
Jen.
Jen.
Thanks, I'm Jen.
And I'm Lee.
Hi,
Hi.
Lee. We're very excited because this is another mini episode. So if you don't know us, we do full-length episodes and mini episodes. Our full-length episode follows the book that we're reading in our book club on the app Fable. And our mini episodes are little like palette cleansers and the things that we read on the side, or they just talk about like fun reading things or our favorite authors, depending. So this week, we're excited to revisit a series that we did on previous mini episodes. Dun, dun,
hmm
dun. If you haven't listened, go back. And that series is what, Lee?
It's our Dream Harbor series. So it's Laurie Gilmore taking us to a small coastal town, and we're just kind of going couple by couple. So this one is called the Strawberry Patch Pancake House.
Which I kept
It's a
messing up the name every time we talked about it.
Well, yeah, because the patch in there throws us off. We're just like the strawberry pancake.
Literally, exactly.
That's what it is. So it follows the story of Iris and Archer. And Iris, we met her in Christmas Tree Farm. She was a friend of Kira's. So we get to see a little bit more of her story, her background. But you actually got to go to an event with this author, right?
Yeah, so when Strawberry Patch Pancake House came out, they did an event like a couple days before this came out for Barnes and Noble. So I got to get the Barnes and Noble exclusive. I actually invited Lee, but unfortunately she was working. So
Yeah.
what happened instead was my girlfriend came to get Lee's book for her, which was such a trooper. Um, so she's really been there from the beginning with this book. Um, so it was really
We
cool because
should have had her on as a guest.
I know, right, to talk about it. Also, I love the fact that your cat is rubbing up into the microphone right now.
I know. You may have even heard her do a little,
It just sucks that there's no cat in this book because she would
no,
have been
there's no
perfect.
cat. There's a
So
bunny
funny.
rabbit.
So yeah, so then yeah, it was a great event that we got to meet Laura Gilmore. She was there with her editor and they did like a little Q&A, which actually was kind of long, which was nice. And they talked about like the process of the book, and that's where I was texting Lee the whole time. I was like, did you realize how quick these books publish? Like she wrote all of them so quickly. She even had, poor
Yeah.
thing, she had a little brace on her arm
Oh,
because
from
she was like
signing?
from writing,
Oh,
because she said
wow.
that she wouldn't like sit properly in like a desk. She'd sit, like her favorite like cozy chair and just write. And
Gosh.
obviously that's gonna hurt your hands. She's like, now I have to like sit in the desk. Um
Oh my
so
gosh.
poor thing. And then when she was gonna sign, I was like, I don't really want her to sign. I feel bad. She's a little brace on her hand. Um
Didn't you also
yeah.
say that she was kind of like chosen to write this?
Yeah, so she had submitted to this publisher a different story, and they did turn down that story, unfortunately, but they loved, I guess, her writing. So they were like, "Hey, we have this idea for this like holiday storyline or whatever the case may be that they pitched it." And then they got her to do it. So it started with Pumpkin, and then it kept going. And they said that they actually had the cover before they even had the author. So I
Oh,
think that was the
wow.
real point, which makes sense because these covers are
I
gorgeous,
mean,
and we've
true.
seen they're being copied now. People are doing
Yeah,
copycat ones. So,
so true.
uh, yeah, it makes sense. Um, and yeah, it's HarperCollins, but it is I think they got it from the British side because we
Yeah.
realized it's very British.
Yeah. Which is so
In,
interesting.
yeah, it's British in terms of grammar, but in the setting, it's not British.
No, and like even like the way they speak or like the like humor and stuff isn't British.
So should I read the back of book ad for this one?
Sure.
A small town, spicy romance. As a world-renowned chef, single dad Archer never planned on moving to a small town, let alone running a pancake house. But Dream Harbor needs a new chef, and Archer needs a community to help raise his daughter. Iris has never managed to hold down a job, so when Mayor Kelly suggests Archer is looking for a live-in nanny, she almost runs in the opposite direction. Now Iris finds herself in a whole new world, one where her gorgeous new boss lives right across the hall and likes to cook topless. Keep everything strictly professional. Should be easy, right?
It's such a weird way to describe a man not wearing a shirt.
I also wanted to read you quickly the letter she has in the beginning. It's cute.
Okay.
Dear readers, we are headed back to Dream Harbor in the springtime, and I'm glad you're coming with me. I hope you love seeing Archer, Iris, and Olive become a family while also getting a chance to visit all your favorite Dream Harbor residents. Are Hazel and Noah's Archer's new neighbors? Of course. Is Iris still Kira's best human friend? You bet. The gang's all here. Dream Harbor in spring is blooming with new flowers and new relationships. Spring is all about fresh beginnings, and so what better time to fall in love? I hope this book feels like that first sunny day after a long winter, or maybe even like that first kiss after a long flirtation. I hope it fills you with all the warmth and joy that you've come to expect from Dream Harbor Book. Thank you always for reading these books and for coming on this ride with me. Welcome back, Laurie G. XOXO.
Very cute.
So when I met her, she also gave stickers out, which was really cute.
Oh, you got me
Um,
one.
Yes, I was wearing a strawberry skirt and they loved that. They called that out immediately. And um I had my Loungefly book bag
Ah,
and they also loved it. Before any of that started, my partner was there with her service dog, who is a American Staffordshire Terrier, otherwise known as a pit bull. And we know in Christmas Tree Farm, that's
oh
the dog that
yeah.
Kira gets.
Yeah.
So they also were freaking out because they were looking at him and they were like, he's so cute, oh my God. And then yeah, and then they were really sweet. They signed our book. Me and Lee talk about all the time. We get so nervous talking to authors because we have no idea what to say.
Mm.
And I even still have my note, my little
Oh.
signing thing. 'Cause I just left it and she wrote, Jen. Um, and I did mention the podcast, which was a nice little plug. So hopefully
Very
she checks us
nice.
out.
Yeah.
She was a very nice author. We had a great time meeting
No,
her, and hopefully in the future we'll go
that's
for
good.
the next book or something, and then Lee can meet her as well. Because we're still going to keep
Yeah,
reading the series no matter
we
what.
are. Yeah. Like I am truly excited for the gingerbread, like the ultimate enemies to lovers with Annie and Mac. And
Hmm.
she's already announced there's a novella, which I've forgotten
Ice
the
cream
name.
one.
That's
Ice
ice cream.
cream.
And then the next big one is the flower shop. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going. She's got the people. She's gonna make them
Hmm.
fall in love. And we are sat. So
We really are sad. And I think, did they extend the map, or is this the same map as earlier?
I think it's the same. I'd have to compare. I
I
lent
love
out
that.
my copies to one of our friends.
Oh, same.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear her thoughts on them.
And they did ask about the playlist. It was curated with Laurie's songs and the marketing person is really good,
Ah,
apparently, at finding the
okay.
songs.
Okay.
So it's a mix of the two. Did you take a listen or no?
No. What's
Me
on
either.
this one? I don't know.
Beautiful Things is first.
Oh, by my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bedcam. Then we have, of course, she has Taylor Swift on here. She has two Taylor Swift this time,
She
though.
loves
She has
Taylor.
Enchanted Taylor's version and You Are in Love Taylor's version.
Oh.
And then the rest is like Noah Khan. They have a few of them. Some Florence and the Machine, Lana Del Rey. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, a nice like
Uh,
mix of Chapel Rowan.
hmm.
Nice
Okay.
mix. Every book for anyone who's reading has a playlist, and I think they have it like on Spotify, the playlist, so you can like
Yeah. Yeah, I could probably
reread.
pull that up. That's cool. I enjoy that.
So let's get into this book though, Strawberry Patch Pancake House. So spoilers ahead. If you haven't
Hmm.
read this, come back. Also spoilers for like the whole series in general, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you read this book, like you could technically read it on its own if you wanted to, but it's nice to
Yeah.
know everyone and what's happened. Gives
Agreed.
you more background. So definitely recommend reading Pumpkin Spice first, especially because fall time's coming up,
Hmm.
Summerween. You could read Pumpkin
Hmm.
Spice and just keep going.
Hmm.
Because I know the person I lent my books to, they haven't finished because they're like, I am onto Christmas Tree Farm. I don't want to read that right now. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
like, yeah, you
can't.
can.
No.
So,
No.
anyway, let's start the review, Lee.
Okay, where should we begin?
So what is your rating? Because I know that this was
Oh
Lee's
God.
least favorite in the series.
Yeah, I'm like sad to say like this book made me angry and I did not enjoy it. Let me just check the Fable. 2 stars.
What did I say? I think I said 3 or 3.5.
You
I think,
probably did 3.5.
yeah, I probably
Because
did.
you liked it a lot up until a
I
point.
did. Up until I
And
think chapter
I
24 specifically. I think it was that chapter. So
again.
let's start with Iris. So we meet Iris again. It's funny because when Lee and I talk about Iris, I don't know why we both, when we read Christmas Tree Farm, read Iris as not in her 20s. We
No.
were like, oh, she's this older lady.
Hmm.
She's not. So when we were like, next
She's
episode, we're like, what? Are they doing we're doing like Golden Bachelor? Like, okay.
which is fine. Yeah, which we've said. Um, no, but it's funny because I think it's like in Christmas Tree Farm, yeah, we thought she was like an older lady. And then I feel like in this book, she feels like way too young. Like the
Hmm.
decisions like she was making, I just like that's why I kept saying like she's a mess because like she's barely holding down a job, she's barely holding down like rent, and she's just kind of like going with the wind to like pick up things. She's becoming a nanny and she like actively says how much she dislikes children. And I just like felt like she was all over the place and kind of like acting like a child.
It's
So
funny because
it's
I read her as that friend who's always a mess, but somehow has some things together. You know, when they like come in and they're chaotic all the time, but then you're like, how are they living? That's what I read her as.
yeah, but like not in a, I don't know. I just thought she was like not thinking things through and not
Hmm.
like being logical and like to the detriment of others, like ultimately, like to the detriment of herself, because like she's struggling. Like thank God she has her cousin and Kira to like help her, which I like I loved. Like I loved that she had those relationships and like her
And
old lady
Isabel,
friends.
right? What's his
Who's this?
name? Well, one of the book club girls. She was there too, with her
Oh, was
daughter.
she?
Yeah, at the end when they have when she's like in her cousin's house again and she's like, "Oh, what do I do? Like, do I go back or not?"
Oh, was
Um,
she there? Okay.
yeah, they randomly said she was there. You know why I remembered? Because I was listening to it and it was three people and I was very confused. I said, "Who's the third person?" Um, so yeah, she has that. That's her friend too, is one of the book club girlies.
Okay. But she also has like her old lady people who like come to her classes, which was nice.
Hmm.
And I guess I kind of liked that sense that like, you know how they say like it takes a village, like so she had like people in her corner. Um,
Same with
but
Archer.
yeah. I just like I liked Archer more. I
Tell
liked
me why you like Archer.
he had so much growth and I enjoyed like following him, like the struggles he had of like suddenly thrown into single fatherhood, like he never planned for this, like he had big dreams for himself, and he's like kind of an ass about it, right? Because he was in Paris and he was like living his the bear dream. And I definitely think she was like taking influence from like Carmi. Like if you've watched The Bear, because like the thing about these stories is like they're very heavily influenced by like the like pop culture that we know, which is part of why we like it, right? Because we can like
Yeah, it's
recognize
relatable.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked that. And then like I loved his relationship with his dad
God,
and
yeah.
you know like they were close. And he could like tell him anything. And like even his like stepmom, like she wasn't treated like a typical stepmom. And then he like starts to get like a groove with his daughter Olive, and he has Iris, and then like things just like go downhill. And I'm like, you just like spiraled back into what started this all. And it made me so frustrated. And I just felt like she dropped the ball on both characters. So,
Go
I
ahead,
don't.
say why.
Because freaking Iris gets pregnant.
That's
So we
what ruins it for us guys. I agree. It's the Irish pregnancy. So I, like Lee said, I loved the book Hike so much through. I was so here for this like single dad story. I was here for this. I also like this tragic story because Olive lost her family and Ahiza introduced. Like it felt, I was like, this is such a deep story. Like this series, usually we talked about it in the past on this podcast, does talk about like deep things along with like, fun things. But this felt like the deepest story she's delved into.
Right.
Definitely like emotionally impactful. So I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting. And this idea of like the nanny coming in and I loved Archer's character. I love his like change in mindset from him being like, oh, we'll get through this couple months and then I'll just take Olive to Paris and we'll figure it out, to him being like,
Yep.
no, I don't even want to go back there. Like, this is my
Yep.
home. These are my people. And I think she does a great job of balancing that with like, yes, Iris helps them bring it out in them. Like, it helps him like with Olive and their communication, but he falls in love with Olive. He falls in love with the town. He falls in love with work. It wasn't like he fell in love with Iris and that's why he wants to stay. Because that would have been annoying too, because like he should want to
Yeah.
like be there for his life and not for this person. And so
Yeah.
like and the person just added to it. So that was nice. And she always had a great balance of that because she even did that with Pumpkin Spice with Jeannie.
That's
Like
true.
Jeannie
That's
doesn't
true.
fall in love to be like, I want to stay here for the love. I want to stay here because I fell in
Hmm.
love with this town and what I'm doing and I
Hmm.
fell in love. So I love when they do that because it makes the partner like a not dependency on that.
Yeah.
And the way that Iris helped him, I think, was really beautiful in the way of like, because he still did the work. It was like Iris was not necessarily making it easier for them to like, she made their connection. She's the one that did all the work. Like she made it so they brought the joy and brought out the happiness so that way Olive felt comfortable to keep going and gave him advice and being like, hey, you're coming off really stern. And then he still did the work to do that. He still did the
Hmm.
work to be there, to get to know Olive, to, make that connection. So I loved that writing of it. I thought it was very organic and I thought it was very like beautiful in that storytelling. And that's why it was really exciting for me because I was like, this is so great to show it takes a village, but also like people could have parents and so many different kinds of parents
Hmm.
and loved ones and this like idea that like obviously we knew they were going to get together so they were going to be eventually a stepmother. So I loved that because he has such a great relationship with Archer, has such a great relationship with his stepmother. I loved him
Sure.
being able to show that with Olive and eventually Iris. So then when she gets pregnant, it just like ruins it for me because you take away that, like, yes, of course she's still her stepmother and that story's still there, but it took away the authenticity of it for me in that.
Yeah.
And we can go, let's go into the whole why we hate pregnancy. Why do you hate the pregnancy trope? Depending on the book.
Um, Depending on the book. Okay. It doesn't always have to be bad. What was I reading recently where I was like, actually, oh, it was my little fantasy series on the side. Because she kept getting like kidnapped by this crazy man, and I was like, if she's pregnant, he's gonna lose his mind and he's not gonna be able to like be with her. So there was a point then that I was like, I hope she's pregnant. She was not, but that's okay. In this book, I I was just so sad for, I think, truly like Archer's character, that it was just a repeat of the past when like he's grown so much and it doesn't make sense that you would make this, I'm gonna call it a mistake, but the same mistake and be in the same spot where you were. But then you made a great point about what Olive is gonna feel and how confused she's gonna be. And I wonder like if that was even like thought of, because that's like a different like layer to things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's such a good point, and it like undermines that whole buildup of the plot and like of this family and of like taking care of this little girl. And it just really like it really got me. And we were talking about it the other day and I was like prepping for this episode and I was like thinking about the influence of like Pumpkin Spice starts and it's supposed to be like Gilmore Girls, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, at the end of Gilmore Girls, like Rory gets pregnant. And so she kind of repeats the cycle of her mom. And that always made me mad. And I didn't even like watch the show religiously. So I was like, is she pulling from that? Like, is that still an influence here? And then I guess we could talk about like what is the quote unquote famous couple that like Archer and Iris are supposed to be, but is it just the nanny? Like,
Oh, it might be just the nanny.
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't even, did we even figure out what Kira and Bennett were?
I think we said they were Pride and
Oh yeah,
Prejudice.
they were Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if she continued that. I actually totally forgot about that in this book. I don't know, it's probably just a nanny. But yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you that like listen, we're not against pregnancy in
No.
books or kids. Love it. The pregnancy trope is often used to say that families can't be happy unless they have more kids. Like their happy ending, the epilogue, whatever, it has to be them having kids to have a happy ending. And that's
Hmm.
just not true. And it's
Yeah.
frustrating when you read it because like, yeah, you're great. You're glad that they because for some people it's read as like, oh, it just shows that they were able to like get through their trauma and have like everything that happened and be able to have a good life. And that's great, but like we also like don't need that. Like that's why I love the ending of Divine Rivals and we get like the epilogue and they're just like living their
All
lives
living.
and being
Yeah.
happy. And it's like, yeah, in the
Mhm.
future maybe they could have kids, who knows? But like it's not something that's needed for them to be able to like be okay.
Right.
And everyone always mad about Feyre's pregnancy and things like that. Like it takes away from the story, especially
Mhm.
depending on what they just went through. And I really and there's some stories it works. Like there are some stories where you're like, yeah, this is great, this works.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of it is like, why did you feel like you need to include this? And I
Right.
think in this one it felt like that because especially I was also like really defending Iris because you're like she's a mess, whatever. I'm like, yeah, she's a mess, but like I loved how he said like she's dependable and he sees like how much she cares about people and it's like and I'm
Good.
also that person that likes to defend people who like don't have like one career because I'm like, in life like we don't need that. Like as long as you're happy with what you do and like all that stuff. And so for her to like be happy and the getting different jobs and trying new things, like okay, if that works for her, that works for her and she's happy. But then when she was just like, they're like, she's like, I was on the pill. And her cousin was like, yeah, but you're never like actually on it that well. I was like, no. I was like, you took away everything I was saying. I was trying to defend you, girl. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you think you took the pill
Yeah.
once and you're good? I'm like, she's smarter than that. And that
Yeah.
took away from it. And it's
Yeah.
just, you're right. Like, it took away everything from Archer. And I was so excited. Like, I knew there'd be a third act breakup. I predicted that it would be Olive like running off because they talked about that the whole
Mm.
book. Like that was
Hmm.
obvious. I was like, okay, there's
Sure.
gonna be a point where she runs off. Iris is gonna like blame herself. It's gonna be a situation like
Hmm.
that, and there'll be like a third act breakup, and that's what I thought it would be. Like she just felt overwhelmed on taking care of Olive and then, in their relationship and essentially like this role of becoming a stepmom because it
Yeah.
is really hard. Being a stepmother is hard. Taking on that role in a child's life is hard. It's not easy. So that's why I
Yeah.
was like so excited with this book and it was so great. And then they were just like, and now she's gonna be an actual mom. So like how does Olive not feel like at one point that she's getting replaced? Or
Right.
like it's not even been a full year. It's like they had 6 months together. And I'm
Yeah.
like, we don't know how long the mom just died. Like she is now suddenly her mother died. She has a new mom. She has a dad, and now she has a sibling. Like
Yeah.
it just, oh
And I
God, it
think
ruined
we also
it.
talked about like child protective services. Like Olive was with Archer for however many months, and all of a sudden he got somebody else pregnant. They're gonna be like, "You're not fit to be with this child." Like that's insane.
And that's what Iris was worried about too. She was like, like if we start dating, like they're gonna think like you're not committed, and then suddenly they're like, it's fine, because you're fine, you're
It's not.
fine.
Like there's so much, and maybe this is us, like we needed to suspend disbelief a little bit more, but like even like talking about it now, I'm thinking like of all the things that like rooted in reality are not like reflected in this book. It's not a good representation,
Yeah.
and it's making me mad. Um, but there's so many people like on Fable who reviewed it and they loved it.
And
Like
that's
the
why I'm debating because I really loved it until that happens. And that's like majority of the book. I'm telling you, I think it was chapter 24. And there's like 30 something chapters. I'm like half of this, like 75% of this book I fucking loved. So I'm like, that's why I gave it 3 because I didn't want to go back on that. And then I was just
yeah.
like, and it sucked. I was just and then when she even got pregnant and she was debating not telling him, I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
no, I was like, if she doesn't tell him and she walks away, I think I'm gonna
No.
throw the book out the window. And I was listening, so I was like, I'm gonna throw my phone. Like I was like,
Yeah, I really didn't like how she handled it. And like I did like her friends like having the conversation with her like and all that, but like the instant running was not good.
hmm
Um it's funny because like I was like pretty uncomfortable from the beginning of the book
Yes, you were.
because I kept saying like my little Hufflepuff brain was like, that's your boss. You're not supposed to do this. Like this is not appropriate.
It
So
is not, but
I
I
was
think
at
it's just
war.
like you definitely had to just like your disbelief because like we knew going into this they were gonna fall in love. So it's like, and they constantly and they address it. You know, he says it like I don't want to like this is a power thing. Like I don't want to do
Right.
that, and she's like,
Yeah.
no, I consent to it. Like it's fine. It's not that situation. So it's like great they address that, but I can see how you could
Yeah.
also get triggered from it or also be like, no, this is not it.
No. I also think like the way she was just kind of like careless, carefree, like yeah, like we can have fun and like I'm not like that.
Mm,
So I think that was also like harder because I was just like, girl, this is not how you should be acting or like it's not going to end well and like clearly, I mean, I guess
mhm.
they had their happy ending, but at what cost? Um so yeah, I was really disappointed and
I
like
also wanted to know if what's her job now?
oh,
Like, does
does
she
yeah,
then become a
does she get
stay-at-home
paid?
mom? And like,
Yeah.
is she gonna start working at the pancake house?
That's
Because
a
technically they're
great,
still need someone to watch the kids. Like, are they gonna hire the other nanny that came in the end? I was just like,
right.
I'm really lost. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll find it out in the next book.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll pop up.
And you know Hazel and Noah are getting kids because they
Oh,
were like,
for
oh, they
sure.
would be such great parents. They even mentioned it. I
For
was like,
sure.
okay, so
Yeah.
foreshadow. That
Yeah.
was probably the best part about this, that Noah and Hazel were their neighbors and we got so much
hmm
time with them.
hmm And we even got like the exact like timeline. So we knew like when they were going on vacation and we knew, okay, like after vacation, they're married. So that was little tidbits. That was fun. How'd you feel about his Archer's like epic adventure to find the pancake recipe?
I loved that because I thought it was, I mean, I loved it, but then I hated the ending. I loved it because, you know, these books always have like their weird, um,
Like side quest?
side quest, and we felt the Christmas Tree Farm one was very weak and very weird with the
Yeah.
like hidden but whatever. And I thought this was like really authentic. I thought it was funny
hmm
and it fit the town of Dream Harbor. Like they are such busybodies and they definitely like want the one thing. But I was really pissed that the ending of it was that it was just Bisquick and they fried it. And I said, if I was going to a diner and I found out the diner that my whole life that I've been paying for food was just freaking like mix pancakes, I would be so mad. Like that's
Yeah.
not homemade.
No. And like this man is giving you like gourmet, different flavors like ricotta pancakes, and you're just like, no, it's not the same.
Lemon poppy seed, like
Mm.
all these different ones. Yeah, I was like, which I was glad he kept. I loved that they like did the menu with everyone's
Yeah.
suggestions. Like it
Yeah.
was so cute. Like I would eat there.
That was cute. I thought it didn't make sense when, because of course we have to have a town meeting. So Iris takes him to the town meeting, and like I didn't think it matched his character in the beginning for him to like get up there and be like, "Give me your suggestions." Like I thought the know-it-all chef was gonna be like, "No, I got this. Like I
Hmm.
can figure it out. I don't need your help." But I understand that she wanted to have that like introduction and everything, see the crazy
I think
mayor.
it worked because she was like, he was like realizing like it takes a village for everything, that he
Yeah,
doesn't have to like just rely on things like one person or himself. And like I think it fed into his like letting go of his control and like he had to make a step.
I guess. I just felt like it was too soon.
Hmm.
But
Why don't we disagree?
yeah, I think we disagree a lot on this one, which is fine. I'm just glad like when you got to like the like big bomb drop, whatever, you had the appropriate reaction.
Yes, I agree.
And I was
That's
like,
what matters.
I was like, I can no longer respond to your messages because I cannot give anything away.
So, out of the couples, what's your rating? Like, where do you put them?
Like the couples, no, I don't like them. I like Archer.
No, out of all the couples, I can go first. I would rate Noah and Hazel, number one,
Okay.
even though they do bother me that they get married, like that was dumb. Noah and Hazel, Jeannie, and what is his name?
I think it's Logan.
Logan. Oh my God. Jeannie and Logan. I'm gonna already put Annie and Max. I feel like they're gonna be in there.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, whatever. Then I would put Archer and Iris, and then I would still put Kira and Bennett last. I really don't care for them.
Hmm.
Even in this book, I was just like, okay.
Kira was still annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not my favorite.
But they did. I remember I texted you that when she got like a little drunk or something, she did have her southern accent, and they noted it. And I
Oh,
was like, that's
yeah.
cute. I was like, we
That
love
is a
it.
good
We
touch.
love
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah. I don't know if I like the last two that you said. I don't know where I would put them.
So you agree with the other rating?
Yeah, definitely Noah and Hazel first,
Hmm.
and then Jeannie and Logan. I don't know. Maybe I would say the same as you,
Yeah.
just because like ultimately like as a rounded unit like Archer, Iris, Olive, they're a cute family.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have like a vendetta, I think, against how romance writers treat contraception, and I think we need to do better. And I think this book just shows that. So,
Love it. That's a great place to leave it. So, Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore. Love blossoms in the most unexpected places. We have read it. We will wait for the next one coming out the fall. So stay tuned for our next mini episode in the future. We'll reveal the next one.
hmm.
Um, you still recommend the series, people?
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because the town is cute and it's good vibes,
it is. And it's a
Like
great
it's
palate cleanser.
yeah, you don't have to expect too much, but like you still get joy from it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And like you had a good experience with the author, so love that.
Yeah, I agree. But
Yeah.
all that to say, check us out on Fable.
We have
So
three.
we have three Fable book clubs. We have a Hunger Games one. We have a fourth wave for first timers, which those we still check. So make sure to go on if you're reading it for the first time. And then our
Hmm.
most important, biggest amazing book club, Mystic Scales and Fatales podcast book club on Fable with over 500 members.
Yay.
We are currently reading The Night in the Moth, beautiful edition, gorgeous, loving it so far. And we're
Hmm.
actually voting for our next series. We're going to start a series again, and we will be reviewing the books and then coming on here to talk. And we're gonna have to talk about how we're gonna do the series on here because if we're reading like book by book, are we gonna split the book up for full
Oh, yeah.
episodes? Do some like intense breakdowns maybe. So stay tuned
Good.
for what's to come.
Yeah.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fae Tales Podcast. We hope that you are delving into a good book and happy reading.
Happy reading.